deal with one item and one item only, and that is the Norfolk County operating budget, which is levy supported. We will go through today, I'm sure. We have booked off tomorrow as well, and Friday. And councillors were well aware of that, and should be in their calendars. If we don't conclude on any of our business in previous years, that has happened, then the clerk will contact council members and ask when they are available, and if we get a sufficient enough quorum, then we will proceed with the concluding actions related to the levy-supported budget. I want to welcome you all to this meeting. It is on cable TV, so if anyone is going to speak this morning, then you have no expectation of privacy. You can see the assembled throngs here. Most of them are staff members who will be here to answer questions concerning any item that the council wishes to raise or to justify a certain position. We do have members of the public who are here to speak to us as well on deputation, and we'll get to that after some opening remarks by myself and the county manager and any councillor. So basically that's how we're going to roll out. I have asked council's indulgence that we proceed with our operating budget in the following fashion. We will deal with those things we control, our budget, first and foremost, in a very transparent manner to show and demonstrate that we are diligent and responsible in those things that we control. Then we will go on after that to the external agencies, those budgets where we have very little or no control, such as conservation authorities and OPP and library, agencies that are under different pieces of legislation. We did that last night with the Board of Health. Norfolk County Council is the Board of Health for Haldimand and Norfolk, and we dealt with that budget last night, and we're pleased to see and say that there was a reduction in that budget overall for both Haldimand and Norfolk. I would ask if you do have a cell phone or other device that will make a noise, please put it on vibrate or turn it off. Thank you. So, my opening remarks are as follows. Councillors and staff members, most of you have a copy of them. And I've said this before, and I will continue to say it as long as I'm in this chair. It is council's job to ensure that we deliver the needs to our citizens and carefully assess whether to fund and deliver any of the wants. So it's needs and wants. There is good spending, that is to say investments in our future, and there is bad spending, which is usually parochial, political, or emotional. Our goal is, and always has been, to have enough funding to operate the Corporation of Norfolk County. No more, no less. Automatically raising taxes runs counter to becoming more efficient, reducing or eliminating non-essential or outdated services. Excuse me. Budgets historically have been all about increases. Increases for wages and benefits, for fuel, sand, gravel, asphalt, salt, all of those things that we purchase. For contractors to cut the grass, pave our roads, haul our garbage, and added demands from the public and special interest groups. If we, council, are to have the resources, that's the people and the dollars, to invest in our infrastructure and the necessary programs to promote development, growth, and prosperity, to remain open for business, which has been my objective since I took this chair, we must continue to reduce costs wherever possible. Staff provide advice and recommendations. Council decides on what level of service to provide, and council approves the budget to provide those services. The roads, the bridges, the arenas, the parks, the community centers, etc., that we are dealing with today were put there by previous councils. And there are members around this table who have been here for 20, 30 years, and will know that. The decisions we make today will have a similar impact far off into the future and burden future councils. I'm positive that each councillor has his or her own idea as to where we can look for efficiencies, effectiveness, and economy. However, as we embark on the 2014 budget process and beyond, I'm asking Council to recognize the following. For we know that managing the public purse is an everyday, never-ending task. Wage and benefit increases. Council has approved negotiated increases within tight parameters given the economic challenges we face. We cannot control arbitrated awards. The arbitration system is broken, and it must be fixed, and it can only be fixed by the provincial government. Senior management, most particularly the county manager, who's been with us almost 3 years now, and history will show, that short history will show how much progress we have made under his leadership. Senior management, most particularly the county manager, is working to review and revise our performance planning and review tools to ensure that the benchmarks for employee productivity contain measures and indicators for performance. These benchmarks should become the primary determinant of whether pay increases or progression in the increment scale are warranted. Notwithstanding Council's decision to freeze all new, non-mandatory hiring, our oversight of hiring must continue, and it must continue in a manner that makes staffing, activity, trends, and issues transparent, and enables Council to monitor what is happening. Council should receive reports on a regular basis, and perhaps monthly during periods of high activity. And we know that we're in a period of high activity at the moment, with the clerk and the deputy clerk and a few other folks deciding they wish to go on to something bigger and better and more relaxing. This regular monitoring is Council's only mechanism to see and understand what staffing is occurring and to provide input in real time, recognizing how long it typically takes to staff significant positions. Also, in fulfilling their responsibility to review and approve proposed hiring, senior managers must continue to evaluate whether the related service or program is needed and make recommendations for alterations to Council. We can contain costs. We can contain costs through adjustments to or reduction or elimination of services, employee attrition, and keeping positions vacant while an evaluation of the service is completed. I strongly suggest that we need to continue to review the organizational structure that the Transition Board put in place in the year 2000. Much has occurred since 2000 and 2001 to suggest that a review is needed. We saw the benefits of organizational review and adjustment when a general manager retired not too long ago. We did not replace that person, and we made some adjustments to the organization, all of which was beneficial, economically, organizationally, and from a performance perspective. Council supported my request for a program review some years ago. And we have a great foundation of information about every program and service we deliver. For those who were around that table, that was about when the fire happened in this building, the binder was that thick. That thick. And that information and the following service capacity review are essential tools for applying efficiencies and cost containment, and the process must continue. We can too easily become too many things to too many people and end up being unable to deliver high quality, core services. We need to identify those core services and work with management to ensure that these programs and services are the most efficient, effective, and economical that they can be. Council members must speak openly and freely about outsourcing non-essential services where possible. Contracting for services must not solely be at the lowest price, but with minimum measurable standards and value for money in mind. Our fee-for-service structure must be such that we recover all possible costs for the services and products we offer. We also must change our thinking to allow cost centers to become revenue centers. I ask Council support for a defined process that allows us to identify all of the properties we own, determine which can be declared surplus, and bring that list to Council so we can decide which to keep and which to sell. So far, we have been doing it on a piecemeal basis. Usually when somebody wishes to buy a piece of property, whether it's an unopened road allowance or an abutting piece of property that we own. So I'm asking, let's do it in a concerted, programmed fashion. Let's do it once and do it right. Council must have and approve a financial sustainability policy that will address the three important points of revenue generation, in addition to the levy, an investment strategy that provides the greatest possible return, and a debt containment and reduction strategy. We recognize that some debt is necessary. Example, a large infrastructure project. And some debt is desirable, such as building infrastructure that will last for 30 or 40 years, and we don't want today's current taxpayer to pay the whole shot. So we roll it out over a number of years. As I have consistently said, there is good spending and there's bad spending, and it is Council's wisdom that determines which is which. Council must continue to make wise capital investment decisions, including how to finance those capital projects. More importantly, in preparation for the 2015 budget, I encourage Council to bring a motion forward. Let me repeat that. I encourage Council to bring a motion forward that directs staff to revisit the earlier exercise of determining by department the lowest priority, discretionary, or non-essential services and programs, and bring that listing forward for Council's review in the fall of this year, 2014. This listing should also contain the detail of how many FTEs, full-time equivalents, and dollars are attached to each, who and what sector the service or program serves, and where appropriate, the partners to each of those. Most of this information should be readily available from the program review documentation that's been collected over the past number of years. We cannot keep expanding or adding services and programs without looking for offsets and reductions. Unless, of course, you want to raise taxes and keep on raising taxes. Lastly, I offer my personal thanks and congratulations to the county manager, the senior leadership team, most, if not all, who are here today, all managers and supervisors and employees for working diligently and with focus to prepare the proposed budget that we have before us today. Many don't realize how many times the budget is reviewed by the senior leadership team, how many times Mr. Ford and I have had discussions, how many times Mr. Robichaud and I and Mr. Ford have had discussions throughout the preparation period to bring what you have in front of you today. All members from the county manager down, all members of our staff have had an input, and I say to you, what you see today is a very tight budget, very tight. Yes, there are some new budget initiatives, and we'll discuss those as we move forward.